investments. We have those closing numbers coming in, and just looking at some of the biggest gainers, we have Naspers up close to 4%, so a late surge for some of those stocks. Vodacom up 3 1/3%, and that's after a pretty strong performance yesterday after it puts out that trading update.
Yes, so Vodacom, after that, as you said, the trading update, that was yesterday. They had a good day, and then of course that follows through today. But you know, it's a very good dividend payer, so there'll be a lot of support for this. Naspers hitting 400 again. It's been at that level recently, came back quite sharply, but obviously the money is coming for it again. And of course, given the expected IPO for Facebook maybe in 2012 or a year later, with the Naspers indirect stake there, this is a stock that we're very bullish on.
And as one that has had a rapid rise, do you think there's much more to this rise that we can see for Naspers?
Well, I think, look, they've done well, and they've bought well the businesses that they have got in, and they've done certainly well out of Tencent, and the Tencent's results have proved that, you know, it's not a flash in the pan. They're doing pretty well. So I think that the management has been, you know, forward-looking, and most of the businesses they've bought, certainly in Eastern Europe, are now starting to come through.
Greg, Investec out with a trading update this morning. It's expecting a 4% rise, I think, in attributable income. That share price up by 0.7%. That's for Investec Limited at R56.45. So really kind of in line with the market today. Yes,
look, Investec, I think, is still cheap at these levels. But they've got a lot of cash. They sit with about £10 billion worth of cash. But they've had a very good performance from their asset management divisions. So they're probably not lending as much as one would expect, because they also said that, you know, non-performing loans are taking some time to recover, and they're not recovering as quickly as people believe. So they've certainly been putting a lot of effort into the asset management company, and they've won some big mandates recently, and it's so generally I think that Investec is a good business, and I like it at these levels.
Do you think they're being too conservative with their capital? You said R10 billion free cash.
Pounds, yes.
Sorry, £10 billion. Would you like to see some of that going back to either to shareholders or being used for something a bit more profitable?
Well, I think as the market, I don't think one in this day and age you can fault them for being conservative given what has happened. But generally it's a bull market stock, and as the markets recover and global economies recover, I expect them to put that cash to good use.
Steinhoff, that's a share that's done very well this week. It's up another 1.3% today, R24.71. And I heard that they had a ratings upgrade from one of the overseas fund managers. Do you think that's what's been driving this share?
That, and also the deal with Conforama is, you know, it looks like close to completion. It makes them the second largest furniture retailer in the world, and I think that will be the business that they're buying is a good business. It was highly sought after by a lot of private equity companies. Steinhoff happened to win the race because of a relationship they'd built up over the years. So I think that this is just a re-rating for Steinhoff, and I expect the share to go much higher over the next couple of years.
We have seen Steinhoff becoming a more international company than a South African company. Do you think this is a game changer, buying Conforama? That's the French retailer.
Well, as I said, you know, it makes them the number 2 in the world now, so that definitely is a game changer, and I think it will be very positive for the business going forward.
Trading around R25, I think. Would you be adding this to your portfolio? Is it also a bit of a rand hedge then, I suppose, for investors?
Certainly it is a rand hedge, and given what's happening to the currency at the moment, it could also be a reason for the share performing strongly. But generally, as you said, there was a broker upgrade on the stock, and that is pushing it through. But it's certainly it's a stock that's in our portfolios, and we would be recommending the stock to clients.
Greg, markets, where do you expect them to go from here? We had a bit of a pullback towards the end of last week, continuing through to Monday. Very nice bounce back for Tuesday, Wednesday and today. Do you think the markets are going to remain as volatile as the rand, though, just given the state of play globally?
Well, I think given the state of play, you must expect volatility. I think that as the markets approach their previous high of over 33,200, close there, it's going to be a huge hurdle for the market to overcome. So I expect there to be some resistance there. But generally, as I said earlier, I think the global economies are recovering, but I am concerned about the risk to the system. There's some risk in Europe, but I'm also very concerned about a slowdown in China. A hard landing for the Chinese economy certainly won't be good for our market, but in the short term, it will remain volatile.
Well, given the change in direction we've seen for the rand, would you be taking some money offshore at this stage, perhaps looking for cheaper markets than the JSE?
Well, we've been advising people to take money offshore when the rand was around the £6.80 level. So, and
they usually wait until
well,
the 780 level.
Yes, absolutely. But I still think at these levels it makes sense. We of the belief that developed markets will outperform emerging markets at least for the next 12 months, and that's where a portion of our money should go.
And what sorts of companies would you be looking for in those developed markets?
Well, generally probably looking at the US market in particular. We think that there's a lot, with the weak currency, the weak US dollar, a lot of those companies that are geared to exports, the big multinationals, those are the type of companies that we look for. But generally you can take exposure also through an ETF that just has exposure to the S&P 500.